Hello, my name is Jimmy Vegas and welcome to the 30th in a series of video tutorials for Unity 5. So this episode, I'm hoping is not going to drag on too long. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be continuing on our main quest using a couple of little tricks. We'll be quickly going into the asset store to get a few assets. We'll be using the inventory again to kind of receive an item which helps us along this quest. So firstly, I am going to go into the asset store. So it's Control and 9 to get into there. And all I'm going to do here is just search for some rocks. So free rocks in the asset store, and I have this one just here. So obviously credit goes to the guy who made this asset package, Triple Brick. So props to him or her or them for creating this. So I've downloaded this particular pack already. So all you would do is you would go onto the pack, click on import, and it will bring it in for you. Over here, I have 3 rocks. So what I'm going to do is over here by our village, the plan is to kind of build maybe like a little sort of cave about here. So I'm going to go into prefabs, take a couple of rocks, let's expand them a little bit so as it looks a bit bigger. I'm not going to mess around too much with this. I'm just going to make a sort of a cave sort of feel. So you can imagine where this is going. Let's take this, let's duplicate and rotate. Just put it into position about there. And yeah, I'm just building up a cave. You can obviously take as much time as you need to do this. I'm not going to go into depth. So that'll do for my little cave for now. Probably between this episode and the next episode, I'll actually build up a little bit more, but you guys build it however you want. Once you've built your cave, or pause it, build your cave, and then come back to me where we are right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in another NPC. So I'm going to head to my objects. I'm going to import NPC 002 straight in here. And as always, head to the website jvunity.com and you can download these assets for free. This particular NPC is brought to you by a guy at tf3dm.com. It's a pretty good place to find some of these models. So I'm going to place this prefab. Let's place them behind this building here. So drag and drop the prefab straight onto there. You might need to apply the texture to the material as it may be blank, as it is in my case. So it's a case of going to texture, dragging and dropping onto the albedo there. And I'm going to change the shader to bump diffuse, and let's increase the size of him a little bit. So let's have him as 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So it's a little bit bigger. Okay, so we now have our next NPC, and this guy is going to be the one that gives us the next quest. So speaking of quests, let's go to our scripts down here. So we need to go to our quests and go to this one. Nope, this one, quest 001 end, and I'm going to duplicate that script and rename. I'm going to call it NPC 0. In fact, it's got a bit funny there. NPC 002 idle. So the idea of this script is going to be whenever we try and talk to our NPC here, this script will always run. Unless, of course, we have the quest active. So for this, open up in MonoDevelop or Visual Studio, whichever one you have. And what we're going to do is modify this script. Because it's an exact copy of the quest end, we just need to get rid of a couple of things. So let's get rid of the quest variables. We don't need them. We don't need the quest variable text there either. That's fine. We'll change this villager. This guy can be a servant, so servant, he can be a rude servant. Leave me alone! Exclamation mark. So that's fine. So he's saying leave him alone, which is fair enough. And that'll do. We don't need to modify that anymore, so we can save that script. Now what we need to do is make this NPC similar to our other NPC in there. So we can right click on the NPC himself, 3D object, cube, and it's just thinking about that there. There we go. So bring this cube up, let's expand it. So let's make it 2.5 tall. Let's drag and drop our NPC002 idle script on there. Let's rename. So we have NPC002 underscore idle. So that's now our object name. So you've probably guessed by now, all we need to do is drag and drop on the canvas, the message box, and the text. And hopefully you've also got ahead of me by now and changed it to not have the mesh render on. Okay, so we've added them, and we're going to dupe this object now. So select the cube, hold Control, press D to duplicate. Let's rename F2, and let's have this NPC002 quest active, and remove that idle script because we're going to be writing a brand new one. It's going to be fairly similar to what we've got with our other NPC over here. So right click, create JavaScript, and I'm going to call this one Quest002 start. And let's open this up in MonoDevelop or Visual Studio, whichever. So because this is going to be very similar to one, okay, that's fantastic. This happens quite a lot to me, to be honest. So let's open up again. Because it's going to be fairly similar to the previous quest we have, we can kind of do a little bit of copy paste work. So if we go to, let me see, which one is it? I think it's this one, Quest001 start. So if we open up Quest001 start, and if we take, let me see, what should we take here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's leave the variables. Let's actually do the variables ourselves in here. So let's start from scratch. So let's do var text box on check is integer. It's equal to 0. Next one is message box. And that is going to be a game object. Next one is going to be the text box, isn't it? Text box, and that is also going to be game object. So by now, I would hope if you've been following this series, you'll be able to understand what we do. I'm not going to explain too much about this, the variables and whatnot. We've already explained that quite a lot. So var quest box, also a game object, and another var, and we'll have quest text, also a game object. So one extra one we're going to put here is var, we'll have key 001, and that will also be a game object, because the idea of what I want to happen here is when we speak to our character, he's going to give us a key, and we'll put that in our inventory. So function on mouse down, so i.e. when we talk to him. We then need to do what we have here, which is if text box on check. So we can copy that if text box on check, paste. So if it is, then we can do text box on check is equal to 1. And then what we need to do is we need to set ourselves the script. So we can go into quest 001 again, and we can copy the message bot start set active equals true, because we need to set that as true. And then we need our servant to say something to us. So we can do textbox.getComponent dot text, open close bracket, dot text is equal to, let's say, what can we have him say? So servant, I want you to retrieve, what should we have him retrieve? Let's gold bullion, that'll do. Retrieve some gold bullion from the cave down the path. Here is the key. Okay, so our servant, this NPC, is saying he wants us to go down to the cave and wants us to get some gold bullion in this case. So what we need to do now is set active the quest to say the quest status says retrieve the bullion in this case. So text box dot get component dot text, open close bracket, dot text equals, and it should say active quest retrieve the bullion. Okay, so next thing we need to do is we need to make that key an active picture. So key 001 dot set active true. So that is the main part of our quest. We just need to do the else bit. So we can take that from here. So we can go else, we can copy them 3 lines. And after that, let's just make sure we put the close curly bracket, then do the else, and then close curly bracket again. So at this point, I think that's, yep, that looks fine. Okay, so I'm going to close that function now. So we have the on mouse down function done, and the rest of the script can just be copied as the function update, because the same principle will apply here in every script. So paste that, save the script, head back to Unity, and hopefully once Unity has had a little think about it, we should have no problems with the script. Nope, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is drag and drop that quest 002 start onto quest active, and we just need to set those variables again. So message box, text, and quest box. Although I don't think we really need quest box, but we'll keep it just in case we modify anything later on. So the last thing we need to do is put the key in. So let's go to our inventory, set it active, and let's put that key in a slot in our inventory. So let's use slot number 2 for now. So we have the item image. Let me see, that is actually a button as I recall. So we'll use it as a button again. So if we duplicate that, drag and drop into slot 02, let's F2 and rename the same, and let's put it center again. So it needs to be center of the there we go. So put that right there, and let's change the image. So let's go to our textures folder down here into the inventory folder, and let's drag and drop this image of a key. Obviously you can use any key, it doesn't matter too much at all. So let's change it to a sprite. So if we click on there, texture type, in fact we'll duplicate that one. So we'll duplicate, we'll put key 001 and sprite. And let's change it to sprite 2D UI and apply. And then we just need to apply that here. There we go. And let's get rid of that image. So at some point we'll go further into it and we'll get into where we click it and gives us details about the key and how we can use the key, but that won't be till at least next episode. So on to, oops, don't want to do that. So onto the quest active, and we just need to drag and drop the image item for the key right there. So now as it stands, we have quest 002 set. So we just need to make adjustments to our original quest to make sure that once we've completed and got the loot, if you remember that was what we did for our first quest, then it means that we can set active the next part of the quest that we get from this servant we've created today. So I'm going to focus in on our servant again, all the way over here. I'm going to deactivate quest active because we don't want that to be around. We only want this idle one for now because we want him to be rude to us for some reason. So we need to go to our scripts now. Where's my folder gone? There we are, scripts, quests. And we need to go on to, I think it's quest 001 end it will be. And what we need to do on here is we need to add in 2 more variables. So we need to add in var npc002 idle, and that is a game object. Next one is var npc, in fact we'll put quest 002 for that one. That is also a game object. And in the script itself, let's modify the text of what he'll say to us. We'll put thank you. Let's put speak to the servant around the back for more. Simple. And we'll put active quest as speak to servant. So now it's telling us what we need to do next. So all we need to do, you've probably guessed it, we just need to do npc02 idle.set active false and quest 002.set active true. Save that script. And what we need to do now is head to the original NPC, which is called Will. Oh, we've got an error there. What have I done there? So there we are. I've put NPC 001. It should be NPC 002 on that one there. Save that again. There we go. So that error should disappear now. There we go. That's fine. It's clear everything. So our NPC here, quest end, we just need to set them 2 variables now. So head to your NPC 002, set idle to the idle variable, and active to the quest 002 variable. And let's save. So theoretically, we've now set ourselves up to carry on with our main quest. So what should happen now if we play this game is when we come over to our servant here, he'll tell us to go away. So we'll carry on with the quest, we'll get the loot, come back to our NPC here, and he'll tell us to come speak to this guy here, and we'll be able to carry on. So let's give it a go. So let's play our game. I'm going to ignore picking up the axe for now because it's irrelevant. Let's turn our inventory off. So let's head all the way over here, over the bridge, into this little village. And hopefully, if we talk to this big, tall NPC, he says, leave me alone, which is fine. That's exactly what we want. Now, let's try out our first quest. So, hello, yes, my money. Get going then. let's go and fetch his loot. I'm hoping this does actually work first time. I've you see, I rehearse these tutorials before I actually record them, and the problem with Unity is sometimes it's so temperamental. Things work in rehearsal, but then when I come to actually doing the recording, it just doesn't want to work sometimes. So, yep, thank you. Head to the servant, he says, and the quest says speak to servant. So let's head round the back. Speak to the servant. Oh, we made a little mistake there. Not to worry. So what we've done is I think we've put the wrong text in there, haven't we? Oh no, what have we done there then? See what I mean? Things work in rehearsal and then don't work here. So, yes, text box. No, that's not the script, is it? Here we are. This is the one. Yep. So we should have quest box in there. So if you have problems with this script, head over to the website. You'll be able to download the script there along with the assets. But that just kind of proves my point where I try my best to rehearse things correctly, and things just never go to plan. So yeah, let's try this quest again. And if I'm boring you, just skip ahead about a minute or so. Although there probably isn't going to be much more left of this tutorial. Or if you're sick of hearing my voice, maybe just mute it for a second. Hopefully, though, your quest will be working just fine. Hopefully you guys have spotted that little mistake I made. If you did, you're better than me. The student has surpassed the master, maybe. So let's hand it to our guy. Yep, he says to go around the back. Let's go around the back. Speak to our servant. He wants us to retrieve the gold bullion. Yep, that's fine. But the active quest hasn't updated. However, let's have a look in our inventory, and our key hasn't appeared. Okay, so we do have some errors. Here we go. So it's saying, what's it saying? Quest box 001. Okay. So it doesn't like something here. I can't quite see what. Oh, that's quest text. Okay, so yeah, there we go. I'm not going to play through it again. That I can pretty much guarantee that will work. I tell you what, for all intents and purposes, I will set active that quest and set inactive the idle, just so we can see that everything is working now, and he does give us the key. So yet again, rehearsal works fine, recording doesn't. So talk to him. There we go. Active quest, retrieve the bullion. He wants to retrieve it. Let's have a look at our inventory, and there's the key. Perfect. So let's change that and put active quest off. Okay, so after that dreadful recording there, which I didn't quite expect, we'll end the episode there. Next episode, we'll add our gold bullion in, and we'll add it to our inventory. We'll create the quest to finish. We'll also sort out our gold coins that we created a long time ago, so we can have a kind of money system in our game. What I want you guys to let me know in the comments is if you want this key we've picked up, if you want it to open a door, or if you want it to open a treasure chest. You let me know, and in the next episode, we'll do one or the other. So if you want a door, tell me you want the key to open a door. If you want a treasure chest, tell me you want the key to open a treasure chest. So until that next episode, thank you very much for watching.